Have you ever pulled a pretzel? Well, Lina Kulchinsky is here to show us the technique behind making soft pretzels, just like the kind you might find in a German beer hall.
Thank you for having us back.
And first thing to do is proof the yeast.
Yes.
So 2 cups of warm water and 2 tablespoons of yeast.
Yes.
This is what it looks like when it proofs. So it does get bubbly and you know it's alive.
Yes. You want it to be in a warm
Yes.
place to rise. So we're gonna mix all the dry ingredients first. 6.5 cups of bread flour, dark brown sugar, half a cup. Mix it in as soon as possible. It tends to dry up and turn into little rocks.
And 4 tablespoons of salt.
Yes. All right. The next step we like to do is to add the fat.
So a half a cup of butter.
Half a cup.
1 stick cut into little.
Chunks. So we have all the dries in, and now if you want to just add the liquid, you can add them all at once. At this stage, we
Thank
just
you.
want to use the scraper and a spatula just to mix everything in.
Are you going to knead right here on the counter?
Yeah, so what you're doing now, you're bringing it all together. You're making sure that all the wet ingredients are absorbed. Add some bench flour. And you empty it all on your counter. And at this point, just bring it together. The only motion that you need to learn is putting your hand under, over, and pushing away
pushing.
with the heel. You want it to be smooth eventually and
We always say it
dense.
like a baby's bottom. Okay.
And if you get tired, you can step away for a few minutes, let it rest.
That's actually good for the dough.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, is this going to rise?
Yes, so we ride it for 8 hours overnight.
So we need to make a poaching liquid for the pretzels. Half a cup of baking soda.
Right.
So that's alkaline.
It's an alkaline.
Okay. And then
That's what gives pretzels that pretzel umami flavor, that very distinctive pretzel taste.
Right, and 8 cups of water, a quarter of a cup of dark brown sugar. Okay. And now the secret ingredient is the ale. Half a cup of pale ale.
You want to use less hoppy beer.
Okay, so bring that to a simmer.
Bring it to a simmer, and now we can move on to...
Forming the pretzels themselves. Okay,
So this dough that we mixed, we fermented it at low temperature. It's easier to work with it if it warms up a little. It's
so
easier,
not icy cold.
Not icy cold. It's sort of this balance. It's easier to roll them. What I'm going to do, I'm going to shape this into 14 by 12 piece. I'm going to start off by just kind of shaping it into a rectangle and then finishing off with a rolling pin. I'm going to cut it in half and give you half to shape.
Oh, good. The baking sheets have to be sprayed with
Right, because they get really
non-stick.
sticky after you dip them in that hot poaching liquid.
So I get half?
You are going to get a half, which you will try and cut in 6 pieces.
Lengthwise?
Lengthwise.
Okay.
So this is one trick we figured out. Most of the German recipes start with a ball of dough that they stretch into a long string. And we found out that the surface of the pretzel ends up being very rough.
Oh, and
You know?
and you want smooth.
And we want a smooth, glossy one, yes. So we realized that we actually want to start with a long piece and then stretch it just a little so you don't overwork the dough as you are rolling it out.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So we want to stretch it into roughly 22-inch
Okay.
roll. So you want to start in the center. You want to keep the center thicker and then the ends thinner. So you sort of press your fingers in and away, make your ends thin, so you get that little crispy end. So the fast method is just a twist in the air. I'll do another one. Cross over once, cross over twice. And then you hold them up in the air,
I
and then
see.
10 o'clock and 2 o'clock.
Ah, yes, okay.
And you pinch them in, teeny
Look,
tiny
that
ones.
looks very
looks great.
professional.
It does look good.
All right.
So maybe we should make a few of those,
Okay.
and then we're ready to boil them.
Okay. So our liquid is simmering here.
So we are going to put them on a spider, lower them in,
How long do they stay in here?
about 30 seconds. What you
Okay.
want to do is,
Oh, look.
you want to have the surface cooked and slightly proofed by the heat. That's all. This,
Oh, it's floating.
Yeah, that proves them. So as soon as they float, you can remove them
Aha.
and then try sliding it off. It's a little bit of a trick.
There.
Yep, there you go. And you can just adjust them on the sheet pan when
I
you
want to
come out.
burn you.
That
They
looks
look
great.
so good. And how far apart do they have to be?
They don't grow much, so they can be pretty close. If you give them roughly an inch of a space around, that's pretty. They come out of your poaching liquid. And this is when you want to put the toppings on, the cheeses and the seeds. Which one would you like?
I like salt and poppy seeds.
Okay.
So how much salt? Just all over?
Well, we put it only on the thick part
Okay.
and make sort of a salt smile. So you have a salty part and you have a plain part.
Okay. So gorgeous. Oh, I love the poppy seeds on them.
I want to put some Gruyere.
See, I'm very Polish.
Yeah.
I'm not so German. Cheddar. I've never tasted a cheddar.
You know what we
pretzel.
do? We put the cheddar on and then we sprinkle it with the very coarse pepper. The black pepper brings out that cheddar flavor after baking really well.
This is so great.
Maybe some sunflower seeds.
Oh yeah, sunflower seeds. So we get these into an oven, 450 degrees, bake for 5 minutes, rotate, and bake 5 minutes more
5 to 6.
until chestnut brown. So let's get some of these in. Let's get those in and see what they look like. Look, Lina. Look.
Beautiful.
Look. Those are made right here. It's very exciting, actually. So you get these right off?
If you did a good job spraying them, then
they're
there
fine.
shouldn't be any
So
issues.
this one's a little,
You definitely want to give it a few minutes before you eat, like with everything.
yeah. How beautiful. Butter and mustard for dipping.
Yeah.
Oh,
Butter
see?
is a classic thing they would do in Germany. Yeah, but here, the dip is the name of the game.
Well, these pretzels really are as much fun to make as they are to eat. Thank you, Lina, so much.
Thank you, Martha.
I'll see you on the next episode of Martha Bakes, but not until you make some pretzels.